I think India is always going to be at the center of any tech innovation across the world, and we're just lucky that SentinelOne also sees India as a huge talent pool for us. We've had some really great acquisitions which have given us some very good inorganic growth here.
The buzzword, which is AI. Wanting to understand the AI role in cybersecurity.
In its DNA, an approach that helps prevent, detect and respond in real time using not human beings but using machines. And to us that is the biggest differentiator in everything we do, right from the Singularity platform to how we deliver our Purple AI, which primarily is SOC automation, to also the next generation of SIM that we today I think are redefining on how that can be consumed by the market. The company's vision itself is to really create and provide a safe and secure digital lifeline.
Hello, you're watching The Mainstream, formerly known as CIO News. I'm Khushbhu, founder of The Mainstream. Today, I'm very excited to invite my guest for this chat. We have Mr. Diwakar Dayal, the Managing Director and Area Vice President for India and SAARC region at SentinelOne. Diva is a cybersecurity veteran with 26 plus years of IT security experience and in leadership roles. Diva is currently shaping SentinelOne as the regional leader in AI-powered cybersecurity while cultivating the next generation of leaders and innovators in this ever-evolving field. Beyond work, Diva is passionate to mentoring cybersecurity startups, helping them elevate their game and make their mark in this high-stakes industry. Diva, it is an absolute pleasure and I'm really excited to have this conversation with you.
Thank you, and I'm super excited as well.
Fantastic. So to begin with, I wanted to understand, Diva, you interact with a lot of cybersecurity leaders, CISOs in the industry, and you've been working in the India market for a very long time. How have you seen the cybersecurity landscape evolve? And what are the common challenges that you've been hearing in this space from Indian organizations?
Yeah, I think India is very unique when you look at various countries out there. I think we have a couple of challenges. One, starting with a very antiquated infrastructure, right? And there is no point where people can say, starting now, we're going to kind of upgrade everything, right? It's almost like a transition over a period of decades, and that kind of has been challenging from a cybersecurity landscape, because you're now dealing with infrastructure in terms of hardware layers, the software layers, the business applications that were written for a different world.
Okay.
And I think that problem makes it easy, right, for the attackers and adversaries to really go after, because clearly they're going to go after what is easy for them.
Right.
And couple that with, I think, our traditional approach of more of compliance driven rather than threat driven actions in terms of how we plan our cybersecurity strategy has also handicapped a lot of enterprises in India. Where we look at, hey, is this the right thing to do? Are we doing these checks and balances every day? And a lot of things actually antiquated, right? But we still continue to do them because regulators feel that's the way to measure cybersecurity. Right. I think these two challenges have really held back our ability to really ride the digital transformation when we are constantly challenged by cybersecurity breaches, incidents. When I talk to my CISO friends, it kind of feels like they're constantly putting out fires. Yeah. They're in a firefighting mode every day. And if you're doing this on a daily basis, how do you then plan transformation? How do you partner with business? I think that's the root of the problem.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it is going to grow in years to come, right? Those are some of the common challenges that you've been hearing. Tell us, Deva, the vision of SentinelOne's growth in India and for the next 5 years to come.
Yeah. It just feels like it's been 4 years since I joined. It just feels like yesterday, right? And I can tell you that we've had a phenomenal run across the world, including our own country. Right. Today we have hundreds and hundreds of sentinels across various locations in India. delivering world-class services ranging from not just business functions like sales and go-to-market, but also in terms of how do we develop better products, engineering, threat research, managed detection and response teams, and various other teams that are directly contributing to how our customers feel safe and secure about our platform and our services. And this growth is happening at a pace, I think, where we are outpacing a lot of local Indian vendors and players, but also a lot of multinational companies who are playing in India.
The role of India's talent pool in SentinelOne strategy.
I think India is always going to be at the center of any tech innovation across the world, and we're just lucky that SentinelOne also sees India as a huge talent pool for us. We've had some really great acquisitions which have given us some very good inorganic growth here, and that kind of drives really our centricity around people-led development and engineering, and also a lot of support services around tech, around MDR and whatnot. So we are lucky that India will continue, I hope, to be in the center of really a lot of innovation that we try and bring across the world, which is also the biggest differentiator for SentinelOne.
That is really great. I would actually want to now talk about the buzzword, which is AI. And we always say that AI is on fire, and we are all on fire, right? So wanted to understand the AI role in cybersecurity. So how is SentinelOne leveraging AI to stay ahead in this ever-evolving cybersecurity challenges?
I think SentinelOne, started out as a company to reimagine the world of cybersecurity with AI. Back in 2013, right, almost 12, 13 years back, our founder, Tomer, had a vision. I think today the vision has kind of been executing really well, where many companies are following what we thought was the right way, the right approach to solve the cybersecurity problem. Right. Cybersecurity is a data problem, right? And it's compounded by different threat vectors, it's compounded by different devices, an explosion of really not a linear but exponential growth. And the only way to kind of keep pace with that explosion is to kind of use machines against machines, right? And hence the traditional approach of humans would never have worked. But for somebody to have this vision back in 2013 and then create a robust platform, right, starting from not just the endpoint, but kind of scanning across the endpoint and cloud and identity and whatnot, helps us to kind of really deliver a world-class platform that has the DNA of AI, right? Many companies, unfortunately today, thanks to the buzzword, use the sticker of AI on just whatever they've been using for 10, 20 years. You can see that in a lot of legacy players, unfortunately, were struggling with the market innovations, but they just kind of adopt AIs in small parts and assume that the entire solution is delivered using some kind of AI. I think SentinelOne has in its core, in its DNA, an approach that helps prevent, detect, and respond in real time using not human beings, but using machines. Right. And to us, that is the biggest differentiator in everything we do, right from the Singularity platform to how we deliver our Purple AI, which primarily is SOC automation, to also the next generation of SIM that we today, I think, are redefining on how that can be consumed by the market. So yes, AI is in the DNA and it's in the core of everything that we do and bring to our customers.
Great. Steve, tell us the key AI-driven innovations from SentinelOne that differentiate from the competitors.
Yeah, I think we have various differentiators, but to me, the fundamental, I think, a couple of years back was our, launch of what we call ransomware rollback, where we had a patent to really kind of come back from ransomware attacks within a matter of seconds and minutes, unlike anything else in the world at that point of time, right? If you look at today, what we're doing with Purple and Purple AI is we're really upskilling every junior analyst out there, somebody from college, right out of college, and equipping them with almost 10 times more efficiency, right? And hence they can now solve real world problems than just solving the basic data problems and the noise that comes with a lot of cybersecurity related challenges. The second is also in terms of how we are able to really use data, right, in terms of not just processing it but also ingesting it in petabytes, navigating through the data to make it simple, fast, efficient, and help reduce business cost while really providing the same speed in terms of the resolution of understanding attacks and how do we prevent or detect them, right, and respond to them.
Right.
And towards that really is a differentiator because today, like I said, the security continues to be a data problem. And if we don't have a good handle on visibility of how much you can see, right, and also then how fast you understand from what you have seen, how can I correlate the real threats versus the false positives? And this power and this efficacy to us is really the differentiator that organizations need to stay ahead of the adversaries.
That is great. I want to now come on the other segment, which is very important right now, and the topic of discussion, which is MITRE attack results. So if you can tell us, how do MITRE attack evaluations shape the customer's perspective for SentinelOne?
Yeah, I mean, imagine a world where you don't have a benchmark or a test methodology that you can rely on to independently understand how A product is doing versus a B product or a C product. Yeah. I think MITRE solved that problem, right? MITRE today is a gold standard for testing that many other also testing platforms kind of look at. And MITRE obviously looks at not just threat actor groups, but also how can vendors really use techniques to understand what the threat actors are. Right. And the relevance of MITRE, I think, is increasing day by day, obviously because also there's a lot more clutter, a lot more noise in terms of the industry itself, producing so many different companies and players and tools. How do I know which one is better and which one is not? And I think MITRE today is one of the most relied upon testing methodologies to help differentiate the real ones from the wannabes.
Absolutely. And I think this is going to be the way forward for CISOs to really look at evaluating technologies and solutions in the cybersecurity space. Can you tell us some of the lessons learned from the recent MITRE evaluations?
Yeah, I think to me, the key lessons are, I think this year the MITRE testing was far more complex, far more sophisticated than comparatively to the previous years. And as you can see to this year, we had a significant drop in number of vendors participating, right? We had almost, I think, close to 19 vendors as against maybe 30 plus in the previous years. That tells you that a lot of them are not able to keep up with the testing rigor, right? The other part, I think, is also around noise. Unlike in the past, this year, MITRE has really focused on understanding noise and alerts as against just detection, right? And that has been the focus in the past. And to us, that again differentiates the real ones. As an example, if you look at SentinelOne's performance, we literally had just 2 alerts compared to many of our competitors who had a lot of noise. Right. And if you look at most of the AI-based tools today out there in the market, they generate a lot of noise. Right. And hence MITRE, I think, has kind of come down on, hey, I know you can report all of these, but which ones of these are actually real, right? And the third part is, I think, also expansion beyond Windows, right? This year we saw a lot of serious evaluation with MacBooks, right? Apple as well as with Linux. And to us, that again is a test of real world, because in the real world, it's not just a platform. Right. It's a heterogeneous multi-platform reality. And again, SentinelOne came out on tops because, as an example, the way we provide solutions on Linux is we don't, cause panics, kernel panics, because we don't run on the kernels, unlike most of the vendors, some of them who caused, of course, the great outage which happened, the infamous outage which happened in July last year. And since we work on the user space, it's far less, troubling for the operating system itself. I think these are the differentiators in this year of MITRE compared to the previous years. And it's going to, I think, be a lot more interesting on how this evolves and to see the space next year. And mind you, I think SentinelOne has dominated our results, right? It's open, everybody can read what is there.
Saw that, yes.
For right from the beginning of how it started, right? So we take this very seriously. Our customers and organizations take this seriously. And we hope to really make sure that we can provide the same rigor through the platform in all these test methodologies.
Sure, great. Talking about the cyber threat landscape, Diva, so with cybersecurity landscape evolving, we hear a lot of discussions around vendor consolidation and platform approaches. Do you think there's a shift coming for more locked-in platforms?
I think there is greed in large companies. You feel like I want to take every dollar out there that an organization has got to spend on IT, right? I want the switching dollars, I want the routing dollars, I want the operating system dollars, right, or rupees in Indian context. I want, the firewalls, I want the perimeter, I want the endpoint security. And that greed has led to this buzzword called consolidation and platform. Unfortunately, I don't think it is true in the real world, because what most of these large companies have done is they've gone and acquired mediocre or also ran technologies, right, from a decade old, 2 decades old, where all the legacy problems of those technologies have now also become part of these new, platform or consolidated company that they have formed. And I think their challenge now is two fronts. One is to try and make these technologies talk to each other. At the same time, also fix the challenges that each of these independent techs had from antiquated codes and the way they were approaching cyber. And this kind of, to me, is a burden that they're going to now transfer to the end customer or organization, because now they have, yes, 7 products or 7 different tech from the same company, but they are truly 7 different companies with 7 different legacy codes, with the same integration issues they had before. And I think the last part is the innovation. Cyber is all about agility and innovation, because adversaries are not wasting time, right? Yeah. But unfortunately, these large companies who have used consolidation as a strategy in cybersecurity cannot be as agile, because now their focus is not really on getting each of these gems that they've acquired to really fire the speed that they would have. And having worked with a lot of large and smaller companies, I can tell you there's a reason why there is so much fragmentation in cyber industry. And one of them is 100% to do with innovation.
Absolutely. This is great. I want to hear more about SentinelOne's global and Indian strategies. I'm going to be asking a little bit of more questions around that, Diva. Tell us India's role in SentinelOne's global strategy.
Like I said, I think we're going to continue to pivot across countries which offer talent and innovation. We are lucky that India is producing a lot of talent and tech innovation right out of where we are. If you look at one of our largest acquisitions, in fact, 2 of them came out of companies that originated in India, right? And they provide us really cool technologies around, identity security, around cloud security, and to us, that will continue to kind of drive the innovation that that we inherited from these technologies and culture and people, but also hopefully give way to far more investments that we see coming into India.
Right. Great. And how do you kind of ensure the relevance in the India's SME segment?
The fun part is both these companies that we acquired in India were actually catering to the same SME segment, right, as well as the large enterprises. And I think that DNA is never going to change, right? So if you look at both Ativo Networks and PingSafe, the 2 companies that we acquired, they were serving this market. And there are a lot of lessons to learn from here in terms of not just efficiency and efficacy, but also scale and costs. And we believe that we will continue to invest and nurture this DNA right inside the SentinelOne mothership in terms of how we cater not just to SMEs in India, but across the world, across different theaters in solving the security problems.
Absolutely, and why not? That's the biggest market in India and globally as well. If you can share some of the success stories in India for SentinelOne.
Imagine, right? Today you came into the city via an airport, via a flight. The flight you took, I think most likely was somebody who was secured by SentinelOne. The airport you landed into was also probably secured by SentinelOne, right? If you're hungry in the afternoon, you would want to quickly order something on your food app, and I can bet you that it would also be secured by SentinelOne.
Okay.
Right? If you had to take a taxi ride, if you are doing anything that you are doing as an Indian citizen, most likely you will be SentinelOne secured at some point, including critical infrastructure services and whatnot. So I think for us, that's a success story, right?
Absolutely.
That when I see as a normal citizen between you and me here, a lot of things that we touch, experiences that we have, the companies providing all of them, they're all secured at some point by SentinelOne. And to me, that's a testimony that it's not just our ability to serve various sectors and industries, but also India is one of the most populous countries in the world. It's got the biggest scale in terms of tech, 1 billion plus. And for us to address all of that, including the unicorns and fintechs, where there are billions and billions of customers and whatnot, for us, that is a test and also testimony of our platform. And that's a success story for us.
That's really great, because I think in our day-to-day lives, we live and with these brands, but on the back end, it is always a question mark. How is it getting secure? How's my data getting secure? Or, how is it really working? And this is a huge story. And I'm sure, while cybersecurity and cybercrime is becoming a topic of discussion across the world, it is going to be very, very important for even people to know how it is getting secured. So this is a huge story. Great. Would love to know your personal vision for SentinelOne India.
I think the honor of serving.
Fantastic. I think this has been a really great conversation, very candid, and thank you for that. I have a little surprise element to this. We have crafted some rapid fire questions. We'll try to make it rapid. So I'm going to put you some quick questions, and if you can tell us what directly comes in your mind.
Okay, don't get me into trouble. Okay.
We'll see how that goes. Okay. AI or human expertise?
I think bit of both, AI with humans, for sure.
Okay. Underrated threat?
I think supply chain attacks. People take them, it doesn't happen. And we'll be surprised how seamlessly it's coming in.
Got it. Advice for startups?
It's not just the product. So there are going to be other things around the product as well for you to be successful.
Sure. Proudest moment?
The fact that we can serve our nation, we serve our governments, we serve critical infrastructure, to me is a matter of pride as a citizen.
Absolutely. SentinelOne in one word?
Autonomous.
Okay. Next big trend?
I think maybe autonomization, because it's not just us now who are delivering an autonomous experience. I think we would see a lot of autonomization across various ecosystems as well. That would be the future of really cyber and AI.
Okay, looking forward to how that goes. Favorite resource?
I think from a cyber perspective, threat intels for sure.
Okay. Key metric?
In cyber world, it is always going to be MTTD, right? So mean time to detect and respond. Yeah.
How to unwind?
I just binge watch on weekends.
Okay. Your favorite show?
There's so many. I just like all of them. I'm just a movie buff, so throw me anything, I'll watch. Suspense, thriller, comedy, romance, whatever.
Nice. Biggest challenge?
I think keeping the culture intact while we grow at a hyper growth scale. How do you keep the same startup culture as you become big? To me, would be really the true challenge of any company.
Sure. Top advantage?
From at least SentinelOne standpoint, I think patents that we hold, like ransomware rollback, a lot of that really gives a huge differentiation for our customers and how they can use the product.
Ransomware or phishing?
Bit of both, but ransomware eventually does the damage.
Quantum computing's impact?
It is the future. It's coming.
True. Alternative career?
I would be in your place. I would be a journalist at some point for sure, if I couldn't do what I'm doing.
Wow, that is really cool. Productivity tool?
ChatGPT.
Excellent. Cloud or endpoint security?
I think bit of both again. It's almost become ubiquitous and you can't differentiate, quite frankly.
Sure. Best thing about leading SentinelOne India?
I mean, you have amazing set of colleagues, people with very beautiful soul. That makes this place, we just want to be here.
Nice. Handling pressure?
Not much. I just take the this too shall pass approach. Whatever is here will not last, so including pressure.
True. Indian client success story. I know you did tell me like how we're living it every day, but would love to hear more.
I think when I get those panic calls on the weekends from CISOs about a plausible breach or incident, and our ability to turn around that problem in matter of hours, in less than a day, to get them back to normal, to me is really the satisfaction of this job. And I think our customers and organizations out there, when they see that value,
Yeah.
they feel touched.
Yeah, that makes you driving. Prediction for 2030.
I think it will be more machines, right, delivering defense as against less humans. I think that gap is going to increase is what I feel. It is still going to be a war, but hopefully we'll have more machines defending and less humans focusing on the basic tasks.
Sure. Great. I think this was really fantastic. Thank you so much, Deva, for joining me on the mainstream and sharing all your valuable insights. And I'm sure our viewership is going to be looking forward to hearing our discussion. Thank you for sharing all of them with us.
Thank you for having me.